joining us. So, as Mr. Shaw said, I'm Zoe Jenkins. I am calling in from Kentucky in the United States. So, it's good morning for me. And I am a young explorer with National Geographic, working to tell the stories of students as they're going through school, which is so incredibly important. It is so important to listen to all generations, but especially young people and kids, because children hold so much power to tackle the issues that are facing our communities and our families. And we are, today just going to highlight one of those really incredible young people, Tiassa, who is a fellow National Geographic Young Explorer. She's a 19-year-old conservationist from Nairobi, Kenya, and a graduate of the African Leadership Academy in South Africa. And she has a passionate commitment to conservation and considers herself a wildlife warrior. So at age 15, she founded Teens for Wildlife, which is a space for Kenyan and other African youth to share, learn about, and explore and discover the value of Africa's wildlife. So with that, Tiassa, please tell me more about Teens for Wildlife and what motivated you to start at such a young age.
Thank you so much, Zoe. And hello, everybody. I'm Tiassa from Kenya. What motivated me? So, when I was 15, I heard about how fast we're losing our African wildlife. And I was like, how is it that nobody's talking about it? Why is it that this is not on the news? Why is it not on our newspapers? And why isn't nobody else concerned about this? And that's when I decided to start Teens for Wildlife as a movement to educate the Kenyan youth and African youth as a whole about the importance of wildlife, because I believe that through learning things, you get to learn to love things, and you do anything to protect what you love. And for me, that's been my wildlife. And so I've been just able to interact with so many young people from different parts of the continent and in Kenya specifically, where I've been able to interact with them and they've been able to join me in sharing my love and passion for these animals.
Wow, wow, wow. That is absolutely amazing. And Tiassa, why do you think it is so important to listen to youth?
That's a wonderful question. I think that we as young people, we are the future. And I think that what we get to say and with using our voices to speak about the injustices that we have today, we can be able to change tomorrow. And the future is ours. And I've been able to meet as so many different young people, as I said. This has been a time where I've been able to engage with as passionate people who understand the importance of wildlife just like I do, and I've been able to connect with other Kenyans where how we met the Teens for Wildlife team. And with this team, we've been able to further educate more young people, create that ripple effect, and get people fighting and be like, hey, I want to protect my elephants, I want to protect my lions and my giraffes, and standing together as young people and saying these animals are ours, the future is ours, and so we need to be part of how we want our future to be is for my children, your children, everybody's children to be able to appreciate these animals. And so with young people, we have that potential to stand and have that power to say, this is what we want for tomorrow, this is what I want for our future, because the future is ours. And so it's just been very beautiful to see how so many young people from Kenya and across the continent have been able to stand with me in my movement.
That is so incredibly beautiful, Tiassa. And so I know it's so important that we're listening and focusing on young people, but it's also important to work across generations. So how important is it to you that we work across generations, and how do you do that in your work?
That's a beautiful question. I think working across generations is very important because the older generation, they've seen things, they've learned things, and they're able to help us make sure we don't make the same mistakes they did. They're able to help us understand that, hey, this didn't work the way I wanted it to do. So how about help us in other ways? And through mentorship, for example, I've been able to walk this journey as a conservationist with my mentor, Dr. Paula Kahumbu, who I've been able to look up as a role model and as someone who looks like me in this space. I've been able to learn about the importance of wildlife, how as a Kenyan and how as an African, wildlife has been part of my heritage for generations to come. And for example, just using my grandmother, so my grandmother uses stories about animals when she's talking about different parables and how to learn different lessons. She uses animals as a way to connect and back to being able to understand that in her generation, animals were such a part of her being. They were able to coexist in different environments and communities. And that being passed down to me with new information about, why the hyena has spots, why the giraffe is so tall. Through these stories, I've been able to, that's how I learned so much about these animals, and I was so passionate to want to know more about them. So yeah, it's just been so important to understand that working together with these two, with across generations is important because we're able to come up with new ideas or improve the ideas that already are existing.
Yes, and final question is, what advice do you have for young people, the people watching this broadcast, for them wanting to get involved in this work?
That is my favorite question of all time. And all I can say is that your time is now. Go ahead and do it. It doesn't matter how small you think your idea is because it's not small. That small thing that you think is small can grow to be a big tree of importance and be inspiring to other people. So that little idea that you think is tiny is not little. Go ahead and do it. I believe in you all the way from Kenya. I want you to know Tiassa is rooting for you because you could do whatever it is that you want to do. It does not matter how young you are because all you need to do is believe in yourself. My passion is about protecting animals. Go ahead and find your passion. Find what you like to do and run with it because you have the power to find your passion and you have the power to make change for tomorrow.
I absolutely love that. And I'll echo what Tiasa said. I am also rooting for you. And I know that there are so many other young people and people across generations rooting for you as well. Your age does not mean that you can't start now. You don't have to wait until you leave school. You don't have to wait until, you have a job. You can, start right now. And that can be as small as just talking to your friends and family. You can start an organization like what Tiasa did. There are a lot of ways to have a really powerful impact. And that's kind of what we're all about at National Geographic, empowering young people through our Gen Geo initiative that you can create change at any age. And so I know that Tiasa and I are both excited to see what kind of change you all are going to create. And so with that, I will pass it back to Mr. Shaw. Thank you so much, Tiasa.